Now, as you look at the world heading toward 9 billion people, more or less by mid-century and beyond, all who want a decent life like we have, it does seem like it's hard to figure out how to do that without a lot more innovation. And I don't know if that would be an imperative for you if you got into sort of a leadership position in government.
Well,
I'm just going to turn the light.
yeah, I'm certainly for innovation. I mean, you have to be realistic about innovation. Governments sometimes think that they can dump enough money on some desired outcome and it will happen. And, it's pretty clear that that isn't true. The major breakthroughs, in world history and science have mostly been accidental, but, government and society did play a role because at the time these accidental things happened, there were smart people who had been trained and knew what to look for, who were able to take advantage of them. You discover photographic plates, getting fogged up in your desk drawer, as Becquerel did, and he had enough sense to, start looking at that. And Madame Curie started looking at that. You discover some kind of strange radiation, from beryllium and radium. And, Chadwick had enough sense to realize, oh my God, this is a completely new particle. It's a neutron, it goes right through most things. And, so over the course of history, even electricity and magnetism, the discovery of Faraday's law, that was a complete accident, really. And, all of our transformers, everything we do, is based on this sort of accidentally cobbled together beautiful structure of electricity and magnetism. The sort of the most convenient form of energy of all is, is electricity. So I think, the best thing governments can do is try and get the best and brightest people that you can find, honest best and brightest, money and power corrupt. But, train them and let them do something meaningful. You keep trying, most things you try, they're interesting, but they are not big breakthroughs. But every now and then a big breakthrough will come if you have these people out there. So that's my philosophy, they train as many good people as you can afford and make sure that, the rest of society works. You have to have people to drive the bus, to do all the other very important and necessary things that have to be done, but a certain fraction ought to be pushing the limits, of knowledge.
Yeah. That leads to one other thing I just wanted to touch on, which is this gets back to what we talked about at the beginning about maintaining. You mentioned maintaining systems that give us a clear view of change.
Right.
And that is an area where Republicans and Democrats just suck, basically. And this is from stream gauges, USGS, right through to air monitoring for the hardest thing, it seems, along with the breakthrough stuff.
Yeah.
If we don't maintain a consistent view of the planet and resources at regional scales, then no one can point in a reliable way to say something new and different is happening that's consequential. I don't know if you have your own sense of, are we just doomed always to have a politics where that's always seen as like not important? And by the way, in academia, it's the same thing. You don't get prizes for maintaining some line of observation. Mm-hmm. You get prizes for new stuff. How big a problem is that?
It is, well, as we discussed before, in practice, it's a huge problem. And especially if it involves important things, like global temperature, rainfall, crops. Yeah. This recent flap about the coral, temperature data in Asheville. Mr. Bates, his profession was maintaining data. How do you archive data without corrupting it? So it's as valuable 50 years from now as it is today. I don't know what the solution to this is. I always admired Hindu theology because, they had these three sort of deities, a creator, a destroyer, and a maintainer. And our society is it's mostly creation, and we've neglected those other two, the necessary maintenance that has to go into keeping human society going, and also destruction. Every now and then you have to shut down things that have outlived their usefulness.